special event that has no canonical, nothing.
Oh, it fucked up canon because a lot of them won't be back for SmackDown.
Right? I mean, nothing that happens in this affects any real storylines going forward. At least it hasn't in the future. Or
they
in the
get
past,
bragging rights. It's no different than being the king of the ring.
Yeah. They haven't even gotten bragging rights usually because Braun Strowman won that green title and it was never talked about again after he left. And he's never defended it.
Tyson Fury should be holding it right now, by all accounts.
He should. But before we get to them, we had Mansoor and Cesaro.
Why did I go against Mansoor? I don't know.
Why did you?
Because I want Cesaro to finally win.
Yeah, well, we know better than
that. Triple H gave me some hope this week, though. He did say that if superstars are used and they're used up and they've already fought everybody they can fight, they'll probably go to NXT for a while. So I'm hoping Cesaro's there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but NXT can only hold so many people before you're holding down people that you're supposed to be advancing and building, Yep. It's I don't know what they have too many talents. They don't have enough stuff to do with them, and they can't afford to let them go because they might go somewhere else and make some real money. And you can't create a
new show because it'll fail.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a standard, even if it wasn't 205 Live, even if it was just a standard new show, it wouldn't do well.
Yeah, it's I don't envy them having to come up with this. I definitely don't. Yeah. And I don't envy that they're if you've heard their report, their not income report, but anyways, yeah, their quarterly report came out. Yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but the one that comes out every quarter. And they've lost a lot of money. They've been going down.
Yep.
Not good. Still doing great. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You know what could help? If you bring Mansoor to America and have him compete on, say, Raw or SmackDown. He is super over with everybody in Saudi Arabia, and I really do think that would translate here in America regardless of his place of origin. He is an outstanding performer.
He is, and he's got a look.
Yes.
And the earnings report is what I was trying to think of, folks. I apologize.
Okay, there you go.
The whiskey's good. I'm sorry. It was a quarterly something report.
I think the only issue with bringing Mansoor over is it kind of would probably put Ali out.
Also,
judging by the way Vince runs WWE.
The question is, you can get around these things, and if WWE wants to invest in them, you can, but we don't even know if he has a visa to leave. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
We don't know what the politics are behind him.
They could just want to keep him there. I understand
They could.
that. Yep.
Especially, yeah,
they want to keep a bunch for as long as possible.
They're gonna. Then we had another match with a guy who's gone on record saying this was a one-and-done match, although he's open to returning sometime in the future. Tyson Fury.
It probably should be a one-and-done match. You didn't see any of this, though?
No, sir.
So, prior to his entrance, they played It's Your Thing, Do What You Want to Do. And then they proceeded to launch every single type of pyrotechnic imaginable for like the duration of half that song. Then his entrance theme kicked in, and he walked down to the ring in full Saudi Arabia men's formal attire, the white with the red checkered headband.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's probably not a good thing. But maybe it is. Maybe it's a sign of respect, but maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But the match could have been really good. The pacing and the way it was set up was well. Tyson Fury wasn't comfortable in the ring, and it looked like he wasn't trusting in Braun enough to like be more fluid with the actions, so he came off kind of robotic. And it ended up with him knocking Braun Strowman out as he was trying to get back into the ring for the 10 count, which was stupid. But I don't know, for what it's worth, he's not a wrestler, and I'll give him credit for that. It was a decent match for a celebrity match, and yeah, just I wish he would have put a little bit more trust in Braun, and it would have been a far better outcome.
I've read that it was a decent match compared to what most people expected it to. I think the problem you got here, and I know you got to put Tyson Fury up against somebody big, but Braun Strowman, he definitely isn't green right now, but he's also not a seasoned veteran, and he's a big guy with a strong style. And it might not be the best person to put somebody who doesn't have wrestling experience in there with.
He can cradle you, though. You know what I mean? Like, he could cradle pretty much anybody and protect them.
I don't know. I guess I haven't seen him do that. I don't know that he can.
I wouldn't put any of the downside on Strowman. The whole match, I felt like Tyson wasn't trusting enough.
Yeah, I'm not putting it on Strowman.
Irish whipped him into the ropes, and at the ropes, he stopped, turned around, bounced off the ropes, and came back. So it seemed like two different things.
Yeah, well, that's just an experience more than anything. Yeah. And I get that, but I blame more the bookers. I wouldn't blame Braun Strowman for it. I blame the bookers for not putting, a Bobby Lashley would be great. Bobby Lashley is super experienced. He's just a big dude. He'd be able to take care of Tyson Fury. You don't hear of Bobby Lashley injuring people. I think Rusev would be really good. I think you could easily have Rusev do it. Somebody like a Roman Reigns, which obviously they don't. They wanted Tyson Fury to win.
Later in the night, one match later in the night.
So you could. Why couldn't you just switch Braun with any of them?
What could go wrong?
There's no reason any of those guys are in those matches. You just replace. You switch out Bobby Lashley with Braun Strowman. What does that hurt? Does that affect the 5-on-5 match?
Just give him Goldberg.
Yeah, that'll do it. Nonetheless, it's a celebrity match. It was for the King of Saudi Arabia. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't for you and me. It was
better than Lesnar Velasquez.
There you go.
That's a point in my book.
That's something. Because those are two not full-time, two contracted WWE wrestlers.
Uh-huh. And then up next, AJ Styles defended and retained his United States Championship against the hardest working man in Saudi Arabia, Humberto Carrillo, as he made his second appearance of the night. Yeah.
We all knew that AJ was going to retain. Whoever was going against him, it was going to be their second match. There's no reason to pull it off AJ. But this definitely gives the rub to Humberto. I think it's cool.
They're putting him over good for now, but the problem is he's got that smooth, buttery, smiley face, and he's never going to really go anywhere.
It's the Apollo Crews effect.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Not in WWE. They'll make it look like it, just to get him to sign that next contract, but then the next 5 years of his life will be nothing. But then things got knocked up a notch as the first ever women's combat match in sports Saudi Arabia history.
Sports Saudi Arabia, baby!
Natalya defeated Lacey Evans by submission in a very nice match. There was a lot of speculation how they were going to have to dress. People thought they were going to have their faces covered. They didn't have anything over their heads whatsoever. Their hair was back in ponytails. They both had on, Natalya had on her bodysuit that she normally wears. Lacey Evans had on a long black shirt and black sweatpants with, they both had t-shirts over them. Natalya's was pink and had the heart logo, and Lacey Evans was red and had
because they don't want to show the form figure and stuff, and and I 100% have no problem with that.
Honestly,
that's a cultural deal,
I think it helped me see the match as more of a wrestling match and not just a women's match. So I don't have complaints about that.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that is great. I seen pictures of it, and I didn't think it was derogatory. I didn't think it was bad. I think when you go to other areas, you should be respectful of their culture. This is different than not letting women drive. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used the example today at work talking to a coworker. In European television, even during the daytime, they can show nudity. Children see nudity on TV. Like, nudity is not shunned. It's not a negative thing. It's not bad. But
nude beaches are a rare thing in America, and the rest of the world is pretty commonplace.
Yeah, but when when Europeans come over to America or do shows in America or perform in America, they can't just go out and be nude anytime they want. Why do you think
the rest of the world hates us?
So, yeah, exactly.
Because
we wear too much clothes. But so I have no problem with them covering up.
It's just all the clothes.
I had no problem with them covering up. I thought it was cool.
No, it was a solid match. They definitely showed up for women everywhere. There is some stuff at the end of the match we're going to talk about later, which I think might tie into this controversy that is ongoing. Pray for our wrestlers
abroad.
But But yeah, no, solid, worth the watch. It got me to tune in on the WWE Network and give them the credit. And I didn't feel like I was cheated after this match. I felt like it was very good. Under 10 minutes, but that's still 7 minutes and 21 seconds for women's wrestling Saudi Arabia never had before.
Yeah, it was the shortest match other than the Brock Velasquez match, but yeah, you said it. That's you. I have nothing more to add to that. More than they've ever had before.
And the crowd was nuts for it. Insane.
In the membrane.
Yes. And then I kind of did dishes and cleaned the house during the next match, so I don't got a lot to say on it.
Other than the Hulkster comes through again, baby. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulk
I gotta
Hogan
stop betting against the baby faces on these Saudi Arabia shows, man. It's so fucking cut and dry.
You really have to sit back and say, everything that happens here is in its own bubble. It has nothing to do with storylines. It has nothing to do with tomorrow's show or the next. Wow. It didn't. These are things that happened afterwards. I mean, the matches themselves had nothing to do with storylines or the shows afterwards.
The final match, I think, changed some things going forward, obviously.
Ish.
But we're not there yet, as we rest now on the 5-on-5 old man versus old man team match. Team Hogan represented by Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Shorty G, and Ali. And Team Flair.
That I am very disappointed that with the start of Roman Reigns, Rusev, and Ricochet, this should have just been an all our name team.
Right, Randy Orton
could have been in there. Robert Roode could have been in there. I mean, let's just come on now. Come on. You started something. Follow through, WWE.
And Hogan could say, my team's called the shouldn't have said the hard R's. That's what his team's called, the hard R's.
The hard R's.
Hard R's.
Hardy R.
Did you see Ricochet's fucking weird-ass Power Ranger costume? It was like some superhero get-up, but it was loud and obnoxious. And
I did not see it, but I will look it up right now.
Yes, you do that. As I announced, Team Flair consists of Randy Orton, King Corbin, which I thought was a word that wasn't allowed to be said in Saudi Arabia, Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre, which to me, and I picked them, was the obvious team to win this match, because, I mean, look at that lineup! Look at all those small guys on Team Hogan!
Hey, Paystee! Paystee!
It's stupid.
He was dressed up as All Might. Come on.
Who?
That's badass. All Might from My Hero Academia?
Huh?
That's badass. Everybody listening to this knows what that is other than you.
No.
That's badass.
Nope. Let's see it in the comments, folks. Do you know My Hero Academia?
I think everybody does. It's one of the most, probably the most popular anime right now.
Kenny Omega's Sans wins this one.
I think more people watch, I would say more people know My Hero than Undertale. I happen to know both. But, no, I don't know. But no, that's cool. I think that's awesome. I think it looks cool. I think if you knew what it was, you'd appreciate it. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like, Roman Reigns had Rusev and then tiny guys. Against Team Flair, which is just... honestly, it felt like Space Jam, man. The Toons versus the big alien fucking brute dudes.
If they would have switched Rusev and Shinsuke, it really would have been lopsided.
But it was a pretty good match, and the end sequence was really good. With everybody getting their finishers off, and Ricochet, Shorty, and Ali keeping most of the Team Flair outside of the ring while Roman Reigns picked up the spear. It advanced the feud between Rusev and Bobby Lashley, as you would expect and hope.
Yeah.
It did everything it was supposed to do, and Team Hogan won, and Roman Reigns won. What else could you possibly expect?
I expect that Hogan gets a WrestleMania match this year.
Oh boy, I don't want that.
Which brings us to the main event.
Unless it's Hogan versus The Rock.
A really cool false count.
Reimagining. Yeah, the false count.
I don't want to see that, because that was possibly the very best WrestleMania match of all time. You don't want to sully it.
but they could both be drinking